Hey guys, today in Art Club with Miss Burford, we'll be doing a colony of penguins in pastel. You'll need a sheet of A4 paper, a pencil, and oil pastels in black and different shades of yellow and orange. Starting from the bottom of your page, we've got it in portrait. It doesn't matter if you do it portrait or landscape, but I personally prefer portrait. You're going to draw some arches, and these arches are going to be different widths and heights, some narrower, some wider, as these are going to be different body shapes for your penguins. They're going to be larger in general at the bottom of your paper, and as you go up the paper to create a sense of perspective, your penguins will get a little bit smaller and you may see more of them, so you'll have more arches next to each other. You want to fill up your page about 4/5 of the way, a bit over 3/4, and just leave a little section where there's no arches. The next step is to draw a smaller arch within each of your previous arches that you've drawn, so it gives like a halo effect to each of your penguins. Just a tip for helping with your perspective, as you go up the page, the inside arches should get closer to the outer arch of each penguin, if that makes sense. So space between your inside arch and outer arch gets closer together. Now we can give each of our penguins a unique personality. So you may have some penguins with eyes close together, some far apart. If you want to, you can add some eyelashes to your penguins. I just find with using oil pastels, it's hard to sometimes define your eyelashes when you go over it with a pastel. So I just stick to dots. And for the beak, you'll want a little triangle. You may want some upside down triangles, which I've done I think on all of mine, and some facing upwards. You may have some penguins where you can only see the eyes, and you may have some which are peeking around the side of others, so the face is at an angle rather than straight on. This is my favourite part of the picture, as you can start to give the penguins their own personalities, and they really shine through, even just with pencil drawings. Next we can start adding some colour to our picture. So obviously using white paper gives the white of the penguin's body, so we don't need to do anything with that part. But the two arches that you drew earlier for each penguin, between the space of these two arches is where we're going to fill the penguin with black pastel. If you want to, you can use pencil instead of pastel, or you can use paints. I just like using pastel because we don't get to use pastel often, and it gives the children a chance to explore what the texture is like of pastel, how you can make it darker. And oil pastels give really bold colours, so if you compare this to colouring it in with colouring pencils, you'll notice that the black is really dark rather than like a grey kind of finish you'd get on a pencil. Paint works well though, and is a bit easier for the children to control, so if you're doing this with younger children, you may want to do this with paint or coloured pencils. It's entirely your preference. Like I said, it's just a chance to use oil pastels for the children that I work with, and I just like the texture and the finish it creates. Fill the same area for each penguin, and then you can go in with your oranges and your yellows for just the beak. So just the triangular part of your penguin needs to be this orangey or yellow colour. You can choose whether your penguins all have the same colour beak, or I like to do a mixture of a couple of different shades of yellow and orange. Well, at this point I've only done yellow and orange, so at least I've got two different shades, or two different colours rather. Did anyone spot where I'd forgotten to do a face on a couple of my penguins? I just quickly gave them a beak, and now we're going to move on to giving them some eyes. So again, with the black pastel, go in and give them some lovely eyes, going over your dots or your circles that you did earlier. I love it when the picture starts coming together and you can see the little baby penguins peeking up and they're like, look at me, don't forget me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more art lessons like this every week and other art related content every now and then. See you next week for more Art Club with Miss Burford.